Hello everybody, sorry I'm running a little bit late. Managed to sort out technical problems with the laptop and then realised that the lights completely changed in the living room where I'd set everything up. So I've come into the kitchen, bear with me. I've got a bit of a backdrop going on, hopefully it won't fall down while I'm chatting to you all. Just wanted to say hi. Is there anybody here? It's telling me there's one person watching. If you can just give me a quick hello and then I know that you can hear me and I sound okay. Hi Lorna, good to see you. Does everything seem okay? Can you hear me okay? Great, so thumbs up. So I'll just give us a few minutes, just a few seconds, just to see if anybody else wants to join us. I know we're coming towards the end of the school holidays, so everybody's really busy, and I know this time of day is difficult for some people as well. From my point of view, Lucas is in bed now and he's asleep, so hopefully he'll stay that way. Lindsay's just joined. Hi Lindsay, how are you? Hope you're okay. Has anybody been up to anything exciting in the summer holidays? Anybody been away? Got lots of sunshine? The weather's been really variable here today really. It doesn't really know what it wants to do between sunshine and rain and getting the weather out, the washing out and then bringing it back in. It's been a bit of a nightmare. Okay, so I'll make a start. So I'm Katie. I'm one of the Joy and Joy ambassadors for this year, and I've been asked to do a live video, and I was struggling a little bit with the topic, so I thought I'd just talk about me and Luca and my husband Pete, our family, and our baby wearing journey, and also daddy wrapping, which is when my husband became involved in baby wearing, which is a very recent thing. So I'm really excited to speak to people about that and just sort of get your views and your experiences with your partners and your baby wearing journeys. Linda's saying nothing exciting has happened there. Lorna's saying she loves daddy wrapping, don't we all? Some of the pictures that come up on some of the feeds of men daddy wrapping, it just melts my heart. And when I can get pictures of my husband, I just feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I'm just feeling a bit wet and soft. So those of you, some of you'll know me, some of you don't. Luca was born early. He was born at 33 weeks, so he had to have an emergency section. I had preeclampsia and he got taken off to NICU straight after delivery, so I literally got to cast eyes on him and off he went. And following that, it was about 8 hours before I even got to go down to NICU and see him because I had to have an epidural, and I had to wait for so many hours before I was allowed to see him. So when I got down there, he was in an incubator. I wasn't allowed to touch him or hold him, and as you can imagine, that is sort of heart-wrenching, and it still sort of makes me feel sick to think about it now. However, I'm not going to go into great detail about the NICU journey, but his problems were tiny compared to some of those babies' issues in NICU, and he did really well. But the one thing that our NICU didn't have is any kangaroo care. Now, when I was in the NICU waiting rooms, when you wait to see the consultants and things, the kangaroo care is advertised, but it wasn't actually promoted or any way, or nobody spoke to me about it. And now with hindsight, that's something that I would have really wanted to know about, wanted to do, wanted to be able to have an opportunity to speak to somebody about. And I know that our local Sling Library has been doing some work with the NICU in our area, and I think they do have some stretchy wraps now, and they're promoting the use of those. And it's really sad because recently there's been a post on the social media site for our hospital asking where the stretchers have disappeared to. I think they might, and they've gone through in the laundry and they haven't come back to the NICU department. So they've got messages out all the way across the trust trying to get them back so they can keep using them. I'm just going to say a few hellos before I go on. Busy's here. Hi, Busy. Melissa, hello. Anne, hi. Lindsay, oh, Chloe wasn't pregnant, couldn't hold her for 10 days. Was she in NICU as well, Lindsay? It's a really difficult time, and I felt that you sort of feel worried about bonding and whether because you think you're going to get to hold your baby when you deliver your baby, and when you don't, it's a really funny feeling. We spent 4 weeks in NICU all in all, and I didn't get the opportunity to do any baby wearing or anything while I was there. But prior to my baby wearing story really started prior to Luca being born. My sister was pregnant at the same time as me, a couple of months further on than me, and we went to a pre-used baby item sale, and there one of our local sling meets was demonstrating and talking about different kinds of wraps, and my sister was really interested, so I went along with her, and we came away thinking, oh, this seems really interesting, we need to learn more about it. And I think on that day my sister actually bought a close caboo. So my sister had her little boy, and then Luca came along not far behind, and Killian was baby worn from day one. She used the caboo, and then she bought a stretchy wrap, and by the time I got Luca home, my sister had passed the close caboo to me, so I started using that, and you very quickly realise that closeness, it's a feeling that you can't imagine and you can't even describe, to know that they're there and so close to you. And Luca also had some reflux problems, and he was quite a sicky as a baby, and I noticed that when he was in the stretchy wrap, because of his positioning, he was a lot more settled, his wind came up easier, so it's really beneficial, especially to newborn babies, to be in those stretchy wraps. So from there, I acquired my sister's stretchy wrap, and she taught me all about it, how to use it, how to put it on. And from there, as the addiction quickly takes hold in this culture, we wanted some woven wraps. So my first one was a gift from my dad and his wife, and I still have that wrap to this day, and it will stay with us. And we started off learning front carries, and you realise as baby's getting bigger that it means that you can do a lot more around the house. If I needed to get Luca to sleep, I could strap him to me. I can do the vacuuming while he's on my front. I can get the polishing done. The only thing I would say is just be careful with things like ironing, oven. When baby's on the front, it's really difficult to make sure you're safe. So as Luca got bigger, we started back wrapping. My obsession with wraps increased, and I became quite friendly with Becky. She's one of the J&J ambassadors, and she's worked for the company. She has left at the moment, and she introduced me to J&J, and there began the slippery slope. As I'm sure you'll see if you've seen my posts on the chatter page, we have quite a few J&J wraps, and we like to swap about and try different ones. And being an ambassador gives us a really good opportunity to review them and promote them to you, so that if you want any more information or you want to be able to ask any questions, we're there for you. As part of using woven wraps, we went to local sling meets, and they were great, really, a good opportunity to get out and about and to socialise and to speak to other people about wrapping and ask for advice. But also, some people get really isolated when they have babies, so it's a good opportunity to speak to people. And even at some of these meets, I met people who I know, who are colleagues who I work with, and they were at the sling meets as well, completely randomly. So that was really interesting to know that there's people who I work with who would baby wear as well. I mean, I don't think they've done it for quite as long as I have done, but interesting to know that it is becoming more popular and more known and more talked about. So I'll just go through a couple of comments. So Lorna, thankfully I was able to hold her. She was taken away a couple of hours after birth, but it was a whirlwind. We didn't suffer wraps until 6 weeks, but it was a godsend. I just wish I'd have had that opportunity to do it sooner, Lorna, and I'm sure you probably agree. But we had the opportunity and we've done it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And obviously promote it now to everybody who I know is pregnant, and start talking about wrapping and stretchy wraps, and really probably driving some people crazy about it. But hey ho, we all have our interests. Hi Louise, hi Vicky, nice to see you all. Vicky, yes, the baby wearing community is lovely. There are some lovely people, and I think it is that opportunity to get out and socialise and speak to people, definitely. Going back to baby wearing, when Luca got a bit bigger and we started back wrapping, then you realise that you can get even more done around the house, really. Like, once it's on your back, he's out the way, you know where he is, then you start thinking, right, I can definitely get the vacuum out now, I can get around the house, I can polish, I can dust, I can do the ironing. So massive advantages for me to be able to carry him and know he's there and know he's safe. How have people found people's attitudes about baby wearing? Because I think that's really interesting, and it'll probably take me on a little bit more to my husband and daddy wrapping. My mother-in-law she never really passed comments about it, I suppose, until I had to go back to work. And then when I sort of suggested to her that I would teach her how to use a buckle carrier, she sort of agreed to it at first, but I think she must have said that just to keep me happy, because when I sort of brought it with me and said, come on, I'll give you a bit of a teaching session, she sort of backed off quite a lot and said, oh no, I can't do this, I've got a backpack, and that's fine, I totally respect the decision on that. But at the same time, you're well aware that as babies turn into toddlers, they get more and more independent. They don't want to be carried around the same, and at the moment we're really at that point with Luca where he's really active and he wants to be running around everywhere. Obviously my sister baby wears, so lots of support there. My dad is really a little bit of a different story. My dad's wife bought us our first wrap, so she was always really supportive from the word go. But my dad was very much, what's wrong with the buggy? What's wrong with the buggy? Come on, put him in the buggy. And I think part of that is because he wants to be granddad and he wants to push Luca around, I suppose. But he doesn't sort of understand the whole wrap thing. I need one of these, I need one of those. He sort of says, we got one, what do you need? 3, 4, you've got one. They all do the same job. And he doesn't, it's not that he doesn't like it, because when he sees that Luca goes on my back and he falls asleep within 10 minutes, that sort of changes his whole perception about it, and he sort of goes, oh yeah, he has gone settled and he hasn't gone asleep, and oh yeah, and it really sort of reinforces the need for wrapping. Luca very much at the moment is wrapped for naps, and now I'm back at work, it's mainly he's wrapped on my days off and at weekends. Those of you who've seen my posts on Facebook have got a back problem at the moment, so my wrapping is quite minimal at the moment, and this is where my husband's had to step in a little bit, and especially when we've been on holidays. So before I go on to that, I'm going to go through a few more comments because I can see lots popping up. So Vicky is saying, I can't wait to wrap my squish. Oh, so excited for you, Vicky. I bet you can't wait. Nothing will beat that feeling. I'm sure, and I'm so excited for you. Lorna says, love spreading the love and love when family get involved. Definitely. Shout from the houses, it's amazing. The more people we can get involved, the bigger the community will become, and the more normal it will become. And then people will be wearing and not pushing buggies all the time. My friends and family tell me I'll hurt my back. That's a really interesting comment, Nina, because like I say, I've got back problems going on, and when I spoke to the physio about it, I'm under physios, I told the physio that I'm seeing that I baby wear and explained how the wraps are used and how Lucas goes on my back. I can see lots of lights coming up. Hi. And he actually sort of said to me, I'd rather you be doing that than you be carrying him round on your hip, because the pressure of carrying baby on your hip unsupported and pushing your spine out sideways is doing more damage than actually having baby strapped straight on your back and onto your centre of gravity. So at the moment I don't feel well enough to be able to have him on my back, but physio was quite happy that would be better for me than just having him on my side and be walking around Asda with him like that, for example. Lorna, someone saw me in town the other day and said I must have the strongest back in Inverness. Yeah, I mean, in terms of fitness, it's got to be really good, because if you imagine just walking, for example, around the block and then walking with 2-3 stone extra on your back, you've got to be burning extra calories, I'm sure. And isn't that what like army fitness people do, where they put bricks in the backpacks and things, and so they have extra weight to carry? So I'm sure it's right, Lorna, you must have the strongest back in Inverness. Nina says, I got a metal rod bolted to mine and I get stuck getting them on my back. Oh, Nina, I sort of sympathise, because that's how I feel, really, that probably once he was there, I'd be able to carry him, but it's actually getting him there that I think that would be the issue. And Lorna's saying, if you go to a physio, always take along your wrap or carrier to show them. And yeah, it's probably a good idea, so they know exactly what you're talking about, and they can give advice around that. So I'm going to carry on now and talk about daddy wrapping and my husband's introduction to baby wearing. So obviously my husband has been present throughout our lives since Luca's birth, and he never really sort of understood baby wearing. He always supported that it was something that I wanted to do, and he would never sort of say, why are you doing that? I don't want you to do that. But it wasn't something that he would ever really try. Till when I went back to work and he found he could use it to his advantage. I was working a weekend shift one day and he wanted to go on the Rhondda Fishing Lake. My husband has a massive interest in fishing. He disappears off for a couple of days at a time, quite regularly. And because he knew that the area, the land and the area around the lake was quite rough, he knew there was no way he was going to get a buggy up there to get up to the lake and walk around it. So he decided he was going to use the Buckles carrier that we had at the time. So I remember receiving a phone call at work of my husband saying, right, I'm going to use this carrier. What do I need to do with it? So obviously he'd seen me wearing it, but actually putting it on in practice was different. So I talked him through it over the phone, and I was sort of pretty confident that he got it right. But then in the back of my mind, I was sort of thinking, oh dear, right, what are they okay? Has he got it on? Is he going to have it on inside out, back to front, upside down? I honestly had no idea. So I thought, right, I'm not going to worry about it. He's telling me he's got it on, and so good, I'm going to try not to worry about it. So when I got home from work, I said to him, right, so how did you get on with the carrier and getting around the lake? And he said, fantastic, it was great, and he fell asleep. And I was like, that's a step forward. So I was so excited that day, although I'd completely missed it because I'd been at work. Obviously a massive step forward for us. And then he would use the Buckles carrier, and we went to a fishing convention one weekend and it was packed. Was it in Manchester, I think? And we would have struggled like mad with the buggy in there, and I carried Luke for half the way around it, and then Pete took him for the second half. And the amount of comments he got, and Luke was fast asleep on his back, and people saying, oh, it's so cute, and you know, he's in the best place and he looks really comfy, and I think obviously baby wearing demand gets a lot of attention anyway, but I think especially when it's a man baby wearing, it seems to get even more attention. So lead on from there. Obviously, I've been having problems with my back, as I mentioned earlier, and Luke has really got quite dependent on being wrapped for nap times, which is fine. So we would find sometimes we'd be struggling to get him to sleep, and because I'm not feeling in a position to wrap him at the moment, the only option is for him to go on Pete's back. So that's really how the whole wrapping came about. And we tried it once, and got my husband stood still and Luke on his back and strapped him in. And within 10-15 minutes of Pete pottering around the house, Luke was fast asleep. And then my husband realises, this is actually quite nice. I feel really close to him, and it feels supportive and comfortable. And he was dead chuffed with himself that he's got a baby on his back and he's asleep. So that was like the first time wrapping. Lorna's asking me, what's his favourite carry? Lorna, I just do a ruck on him. I've tried to let him talk him into letting me do some fancier finishes other than a ruck on the front of the ruck, just to try and support on his shoulders a little bit more. But he doesn't like me faffing, so I just have to be really happy that he's up there and that they're both comfortable and settled. No, Lorna is not doing it himself yet. I've got to keep working on that. But he's learning where the passes go and what arm he needs to lift up and things like that. So we are getting there slowly. So as I say, he has had him on his back in a ruck a good few times now within the house, just for nap purposes. But it more came into its own when we went away. We went to Cape Verde this year, and the beach there is massive, and the beach is the whole length of the hotel. Obviously, like I mentioned, my husband fishes, and he wants to be on the beach fishing down in the sea. So one day we said, yes, we'll come down, I'll come down, we'll bring Luca. There's no way we can get a buggy down there, no way over the sand. So that's where wrapping came into its own. Luca on Pete's back, march across the sand, absolutely fantastic. And if you're on the chatter page, you'll have seen pictures of Pete with him on his back across the beach and in the sea paddling, and just amazing, just really great, and really keen to get him to keep on with it. And like Lorna says, practice and see if we can get him doing it himself, but at the same time sort of wanting to just make the most of what we've got and not push it too far so that it backs right off. So in terms of where we are at now, obviously I love the Joy and Joy wraps. I'm an ambassador for the company, and I will, as soon as I feel well enough, I'll be wrapping Luke again and getting him back on my back. At the moment, we've got Pete doing that for us, so that's sort of the substitute and the compromise. As I said earlier, sing from the rooftops about it and speak to everybody who knows expecting about it. And really keen to promote sort of kangaroo care in NICU and make people more aware of it so that it's more normal than pushing a buggy. That's ideally where we'd like it to be. So has anybody got any questions, anything you want me to discuss a little bit more, or I'm quite happy to speak about personal experience if you want me to. I'll just go through the comments and just see if I've missed anything, and if anything else pops up, then I'll answer. Lorna says, my other RARP has his very own uppy and uses it on walks if I'm working and not there. Caitlin doesn't let me use it. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I think if you know partner's got a design that they would really like my husband's into fishing, so if I could get something like fishing related or even sort of camouflaged or khaki green, anything sort of related to that, I'm sure he would adopt that as his own. I think the thing with wraps is he finds it a bit more complicated and time consuming, but if we had another buckles carrier, I think he'd be more sort of willing and ready to get up and use it himself and not be relying on me for it. We don't have a buckles at the moment because Luke outgrew it, so I'm sort of on the sidelines keeping my eye out for the one. Lorna says, I need to add on my fitness tracker, baby, where it needs to be added. Yes, Nina says, I agree, Lorna, Lord's extra weight. You're absolutely right. We need to have extra calories consumption added for baby wearing, definitely. So I'm just scrolling down now. Daddy's you is plain black. Does that, or no, do you mean there that your other half uses a plain black one? Is that the one your partner uses with Caitlin? I know. I've seen lots of sort of custom covers and things for buckles carriers that people have made, and with like superheroes and Laura's just saying yes, Daddy's up, you're not you, lol. Oh, bless. That's so cute. It's really, really sweet. But yeah, I think that's definitely probably the way forward, and something that I know he'll wear and use more regularly. So, right, I'm gonna love you and leave you all. It's been really nice to see you. I know, like I said at the beginning, that everybody's busy, school holidays, and this time of night isn't great for everybody. But it's been lovely to speak to you, spend time with you. And if there's anything you want to ask, please comment on. I'll keep an eye on the notifications and reply as and when I can. Any feedback is welcome too, so if there's anything you think could be done better, please leave it there for me, and everything will be considered. All right then, see you soon. Bye.